Hi, dear Anderson Cooper. I saw you in Howard Stern speaking about using the term narcissism, speaking about psychotherapy. Originally, and still, this was involved with them with physical delusions and with racketeering natures or and roles and uses of them interbranch, involved with all kinds of racketeering through administrations, vertical and horizontal database crimes, and then uses of that from those positions. We have a whole bunch of states police. We're only capable. We have each age effect treatment nature involved with racketeering. We have a whole bunch of judges and courts and their police forms involved racketeering with a Scalora family. They're pretending to perceive things in conjunction with that because they already pretended to record things with that. Now these are a whole bunch of campuses intercity tied to on off each age effect treatment nature campus connected intercities through time involved with racketeering originally and still. It's recorded how they're physically deluded. They're preventing me free speech. Now they already locked themselves in with various natures of courts. New Britain Superior Court recorded, confessed, and demonstrated they were involved racketeering since before the Trade Center attack, leading up to it from Connecticut, with racketeering roles with people associated with this post-dated document inside the Ninth Circuit, other natures of sequence racketeering with people on both sides of that case against me, with the investigators of the Trade Center attack, with racketeering against me, against little kids with a child sex offender, no roles with prosecutors associated with that court, with that campus, and with a Joshua Julian, also with a whole bunch of direct and indirect roles with people on and off the state judicial branch offices involved with child offenders, racketeering with people, identity racketeering, and with black and white uses of roles with it. Little sneaky things where they put everyone acting so they can pretend to record and uh, perceive things. Now they use DACA for this. A whole bunch of people associated with Washington D.C. through time, racketeering rules. Now a whole bunch of people intercities tied to all the gym spots interstates. There's a Mike Pandolf. He's got two brothers and their family members. Recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with criminal uses of lawyers that also demonstrates exactly what they were doing with color, where they had the lawyers in collusion with the branches, in collusion with criminally foreign influence, all kinds of private and overt criminal enterprises. That never went away. Hear many pray. So WTNH, WFSB, and Fox Connecticut News recorded, confessed, and demonstrated that they're involved with racketeering with police forms that have been pretending to perceive and record things with them, that with a whole bunch of people. They use name stacking recorded criminally, pretending that means something. They're preventing mandated law, and mandated laws counters needed to a whole bunch of people in the Britain Superior Court, a whole bunch of people with other courts and their family members through time in collusion with a whole bunch of methods and natures of racketeering and uses of people in my area with the ones involved with this, with the crimes in and out of cases proven and further, criminal uses of the courts, criminal uses of the opinion and natures of everyone, while they're preventing mandated law originally and still. These are people sickly from my town, interbranch on off the state judicial branches, on off the prison offices, intercampuses of each age, intercities, interstates. Worse, these are also the ones that are involved racketeering roles with the north end of Hartford, right where the spots where the shootings are, right through time, not by accident. Especially if they're made up, because they have the people who are involved with made up news and whatever kind of trainings they have, shared police sustained on and off campuses, intercities connected, like to CCSU, like to other, like Wesleyan College. People on the water involved with the FBI, with military, foreign, and domestic houses, a whole bunch of houses in my area involved with identity theft, with people that went to my school that with associated with a whole bunch of racketeering with former director of the FBI, other agencies, and their family members. Now, these Scaloros also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated. I have all the witnesses ready to. But what do you want me to say? No one's debating what I say. They make strangers make confessions about six things. Like she made a confession about her cousin having sex with him, Joe DeMoro. Now there are two Joe DeMoro, the intercities involved. Other family members of theirs, Tony DeMoro, Paul DeMoro, whole bunch of other boys and girls, and they control where everyone, the sociology of everyone, because they have all the club spots involved with racketeering, with identity theft racketeering, with the judges and with the police forms, military, foreign, and domestic involved with identity racketeering, identity theft, and identity frauds, all kind of property frauds, spread conversations, uses of like a Joe DeMore used to repeat things that are in the like things people say, like Arnold Schwarzenegger. He used to repeat Arnold Schwarzenegger, and you know how people like they have the same narrative. This person, he's a science, so he's going to speak about the protein. You know, they have all that, and like fake conversations with me, fake a whole bunch of family members, boys and girls of interbranch family members, foreign family members, were are in collusion. They know you're going to walk by. They're using this is long perfected originally and still uses of the identity of volume, self valued as criminal insidious this nature. So we're interbranch. We can leak. You can't sue us. But they're excuse me. They're recorded, leaving out the exceptions where we can. These are people of crime acts roles with a whole bunch of people tied to former director of the FBI, criminal uses of a house slash SMI area with the ones that facilitated them to be able to get away with what is vertical and horizontal database racketeering and all these names they involve. I should be able to just report the simple crime acts. Even I didn't even bring up the sexual ones. And now what they do, they pretend they don't understand what you're saying. And then they're delaying. And by doing that, because they have the police chief's daughter, his extended family members, whatever they have those, they gather to speak about military things like that, shared policing, stuff like that. They're involved racketeering. His foreign extended family against little with medical child defenders who are doctors. With all these are people simultaneously against each age of fact, cheapy nature. These are sick courts with probate courts with medicines tied to elderly homes, tied to the racketeering with the same clicks through time recorded, confessed, and demonstrated. See, I didn't live here for over a decade. My new and past neighbors recorded, confessed, and demonstrated racketeering with a whole bunch of people with a Dillon family, with judges with New Britain Superior Court, with a whole bunch of people, as a whole bunch of people with Washington D.C., Pentagon, racketeering roles into everything with psychology. It's all right if you have opinions, but fix your fake news. Fix the fake words you attached me to. That's why, because you had no integrity. You had this Joe DeMoro spreading lies with these interbranch family members. After him and his friends did tricks with sequence, made it look like I embarrassed me because it made it look like I'm only trying to go to these creepy people. And like these are fake sides of issue of correlation nature through time. Now there's like I think it's a Mogman, but there's more than one. There's men there's women that pretended like a Mulcahy. I never had a conversation, never was in the presence of a Mulcahy in my life. I was in one time. There was a tent. One of the guys kept repeating that he was gonna have sex with her in the tent, or did. In other words, who they called me to the location. I don't even know those. I never had anything. That was after they graduated. Of Richardson and Faglione. Now he's involved with a whole bunch of people in downtown Hartford, involved with two Domain brothers, with a whole bunch of two Mendez police, involved on and off Fox Connecticut News, on and off a Club Blue. That's where various natures of clubs and their owners are involved with this Dillon guy, with child sex offenders and his neighbors, people associated with a, a Fienza family, and his neighbor like a Allegro's Cafe. Now, see, this Hartford's a little spot, Franklin Avenue. Through time, they have the overt criminal enterprises, private ones, a whole bunch of nation shared police, and they have roles with private overcharged criminals. Originally, still, you can't defend that and us at the same time. We have a whole bunch of recorded private criminal enterprises. We have people criminally incompetent with not just criminally incompetent with psychology. These are a whole bunch of misprision people involved with identity racketeering. They use the word narcissist to pretend they had conversations with people. They're forging names and switching names. They're doing this with various natures of courts at the same time, helping them do that. They're just because you went to someone's position, then they percent 10 something is recorded in database. So you can't follow, they won't follow mandated law. They keep stacking fake recorded things into databases. These are a whole bunch of fake sides. Oh, I don't even like that colleague of mine. These are fake misprision criminality with life progressions already long roles with what they persuaded them, had them maintain, persuaded to keep, and worse, physical delusions raw too, psychology, only capable of blaming the real cause of negative value, nature, progression, accidents, all things others themselves. Only capable of valuing sequence racketeering roles, database racketeering roles, exploitation of vertical and horizontal database racketeering through time. I don't know what they put in the databases when I was in grammar school. The same one with this principal sex offender, because there are further people involved with all kinds of natures of juxtaposed natures of child abuse. These are the same people further involved with the elderly homes, further involved with jobs that in other words, we're going to have to change the nature of, and because they're that's why those people are sick originally. And still same, you can't defend that. And they have the sub rosa, the Constitution abridged. A whole bunch of people recorded, confessed, and demonstrated from off the campuses they made criminal uses of Trinity College. Now with a Joshua Stryker. Now he's one of the ones like a Joshua Julian, also involved men and women, judges involved with child sex offenders and with crimes, forging names and switching names, medical offenders with the courts and their drug clicks, fake recorded things into databases. Now I need to make mandated law too because they're involved with interstate crimes with this. Worse. And I need to have a life here. And other people need to have a life too. These are real bad people a long time. They have no, they're not, they're what are they doing too with that pattern with downtown Hartford? And I've been waiting a long time. And I need to see this is how they persuade girls. In other words, these are real sick punks with child offenders. With each, what brought that up were other natures of crimes, criminal uses from off campuses recorded, confessed by professors and deans associated with it. But they're forging names and switching names, and I don't have all the names of their family members correct yet, like a Dr. Shub of modern languages, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved. He doesn't know the extent of what he confessed and recorded, but a whole bunch of people with my 80 Carriage Hill Drive, a Cololo family, is recorded, confessed, and demonstrated further involved with a whole bunch of racketeering with judges and with forensics clicks and with a whole bunch of people associated with the former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin's co-defendants that are involved with them with database crimes when I was a kid, and speaking behind my back with the people that are involved further criminal uses of CCSU and Trinity College, but from off those campuses. And so they're forging names, switching names, so they make the people blame the campuses, which there are actors on the campuses involved with the forging names, switching names, exculpatory and inculpatory evidence as crimes, uses of Facebook for that, so they can pretend to perceive things and have pretended to perceive things, pretend to record things. New Britain Superior Court has also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved roles with uses of Facebook for sexual harassment of the youngest kids, making them think then they also pretend they're about um, the rights of each types of like sexual rights, so they can pretend not to realize why they're keeping this the natures of conversations through kids and how they're exploiting that through time with all these undercover originally and still whole bunch of people recorded, confessed on and off the locations with WFSBs through time, involved racketeering with all kinds of police forms originally still, interbranching collusion, criminally foreign influence, delusions raw. People go, oh, is it with theory? Well, I think physical therapy, I mean, psychological therapy, they don't, it's all right to have an opinion, follow mandated law. There's no journalistic freedom. They are recorded using that phrase, journalistic freedom or what a journalistic integrity. They don't have integrity. They're making things up categorically. They're sequence racketeering roles with child sex offenders. You better get off my identity. They stole my meter, fake words with them. They recorded, confessed, and demonstrated federal crimes with people that again, stealing the voices of plaintiffs in collusion with overt criminal enterprises and people associated with former director of the FBI down. These are also people involved with all kinds of natures of and motivations for roles with election crimes. This just reminds. There's also, this through time, they're stuck. You motherfucker. She shouldn't have to beg to counter New Britain Superior Court for those kind of sick things with kids through time. I just remind, please have them pick one name in sequence. They have women judges involved with this because of how they use the Joe DeMoro involved. Like, and that was in grammar school. I never knew that might occur in grammar school. And the Joe DeMoro, I don't even know if he went to my grammar school or was just like because these are full people involved with police forms with a O'Brien family and Debbie Gold involved with racketeering with databases in grammar schools. I don't know what they wrote, but a whole bunch of other people forging names, switching names, and attaching kids to locations and narratives like they pretend to kids in conjunction with New Britain Superior Court through time with sick people, with kids, even sexual, even medical, and especially how judicial women roles, their motivations for are recorded. Their roles, there are proofs. There's a guy who looks like Comey, but Comey's recorded involved with the sequence racketeering, anyways, of WFSB. I mean, of New Britain Superior Court. Other people and families on off the state judicial branch offices already leading up to that, already leading up to the Trade Center attack. They're not letting mandated law. You think? See, this is tied to what's no the same method they're using with CCSU, all those criminal justice people with the racketeering on the north end of Hartford with Weathersfield Pizza. Stephen Stocko, memory of Azina, she's in court for her neighbors are involved with all this racketeering, child offenders, a whole bunch of roles with it, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated. Fox Connecticut News, WFSB, WTNH, racketeering roles with a whole bunch of people associated with marketing programs like DACA, with a whole bunch of people from Puerto Rico, other nations involved, right, like Mexico, Italy, especially involved with the Scalora family, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved racketeering with the judges, with the child sex offenders, with the people on and off the campuses, people on and off. Forget about it. Get down. I'll get it around.